when you do a morning show, whatever's going on in your life, you got to leave it in the dressing room.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and the last thing I always did before I walked out
Yeah.
was I looked in the mirror and I smiled.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that does do
That
something
does
to your
something.
brain.
Yes. Joan Lunden has lived a life that a lot of us watched in real time. As the longest running female host on morning TV, she was a steady, familiar presence on our TVs every single morning for nearly 20 years, bringing us the news, asking questions we needed answers to, and helping us make sense of the world. But behind that polished exterior was a woman navigating loss, breaking barriers, and quietly rewriting the rules as she went. So in this conversation, Joan opens up like never before about the early heartbreak that shaped her, the moment she said yes before she felt ready, and the reality of being one of the first working mothers in a space that was not built for her. Plus the truth behind the roles she played on and off camera. This episode is about resilience, it's about reinvention, and what it really means to step beyond the script that others, and sometimes we ourselves, have written. First of all, Joan, I'm so happy to be sitting with you for 8 million reasons. Mostly I was thinking about your life, your book, the trajectory, and I was thinking about all the things that you did first, all the things you did before anyone. I mean, you were one of the first female anchors on morning TV. You had your children at age in your 50s. And I think what's interesting is for you, you had a lot of nose wrinkling, like what's going on? And for me, who came after you, all the things that you got to do, I did, and they were like, yay, you go, girl.
Yeah.
But you paved the way.
Yeah.
So I just want to talk about, let's just go way back to the beginning of all of that.
That's really an interesting perspective.
Yeah.
That, like, when I did them, like, you're going to bring your baby to work with you?
Yeah.
Like, and because I'm breastfeeding. You couldn't say the word breastfeeding on television in 1979 when I brought her to work with me.
That is insane.
That you couldn't say breast
You
or
couldn't-
breastfeeding
And now
on TV.
everybody's we got bring your kids. Kids are
Yep,
running all
yep.
around 30 Rock.
Yep.
Like that's the way it goes. I want to take it back though
Okay.
to events that really shaped your life. When you were just a little girl, barely a teenager, that's when you lost your father.
Yeah, I was 13.
What did you lose the day he passed?
Well, he was like my idol. He was a cancer surgeon and used to take me with him sometimes in the late afternoon. He'd go back in to do rounds on his patients that he'd operated on. And I'd go along in my little crinoline skirt, and he would introduce me as, she wants to be Dr. Blunden because I was born Blunden, Dr. Blunden someday. And I just always thought that I would follow in his footsteps and I would carry on his legacy because he was a renowned surgeon. And then I went to work in a hospital that he had really built and founded. I found out really quick that stitches and scalpels
It
weren't
wasn't
going
for
to
you.
happen in my career. And I think that it always kind of was a little bit of a disappointment to me that I
Didn't do that.
didn't do that.
Do you remember the day he passed?
Oh my God, yes. We were up in Lake Tahoe. We had a ski home, and my mom's birthday was the 15th, and my brother's birthday was the 20th. So we went up there to celebrate. My dad had just bought a brand new airplane, a big twin-engine Cessna, which is much bigger and more powerful and more difficult to fly than all the smaller planes he had always had. And my mom was totally against it. Like, what do you need that big, powerful plane for?
Yeah.
And so then the day that he was taking off, he said, why don't you guys go with me tomorrow, And my mom's like, no, they're in school. We shouldn't do that. And then the next day she kind of rethought it. But we didn't have phones back then. So she, after we had gone to school, she rethought it, packed a little bag for us, came to school, picked us up, got us out of school. We drove home and drove because our house is built around an airplane hangar. My dad had built this airport, and we went right out to the edge, right out to the runway, trying to get him like, we're going to go. And he was already like taking off down the runway. He just thought we were waving goodbye. Otherwise, we would have been on that plane.
Boy, that's very jarring.
Yeah.
And how did you find out?
He was flying back. He had gone to Los Angeles to do to speak at a big American Cancer Society conference. And coming back, there was another doctor from San Francisco, also a pilot, these doctors in their airplanes. And my dad was talking to him about it, and he said, I'll take you to San Francisco and drop you off on my way to up to Tahoe. So he was in the plane, and they took off, and it was a bad storm. There had been some issues with the radio and the airplane, and they crashed in Malibu Canyon, and they'll never really know why. But when we got the word later that night, in the middle of the night, when policemen come to your door and knock on the door, and at that point, it's just the plane's missing. Like you read the book, you know, one of the chapters is just called Missing. And you live with that until they find the wreckage. But it was, it completely changes the dynamic of your family to all of a sudden, not have the father, the big doctor, the income, breadwinner. And my mom had been like a stay-at-home mom, and
Sure.
she had to. I
Figure it
remember
out.
once she said, "I've got to replace the tears in my eyes with dollar signs and figure out how to do this."
Wow. Wow.
And
Do you remember the first time? And I'm just thinking about this. My dad passed. I was in college, a teenager, but I remembered sitting at the table. It was such a memory, and everyone had their place at the dinner table.
Yeah.
And I remembered that feeling of going like, "Oh my God, like that's the seat." Like
Yeah.
that. Yeah, those kind of things stand out. They remind
and
you.
it's like it was my mom and my brother and me.
Yeah,
Where
the
the
three
three
of
of
you.
us are left. And she said, we're a team now, and we're going to do this, because my mom was the epitome of the glass half full,
That's good.
which is she made me that. I am the glass half full.
Right, you believe.
I mean, some of my friends say, "What were you raised by Gandhi?" Or because my mom just had all these
Yeah.
positive affirmations, and she always used to say, "You got to always look at life through your rose-colored glasses, sweetheart."
She did. Wow.
And those things stay in that little loop that's in the back of your head, which I always try to impart to other people, that one of the most important parts of parenting is not to just, praise them and solve all their problems, but to constantly tell them your charge in life is to go out and learn about
Yeah.
other people and find your place in the world and find out how you can make a difference in the world, because you are going to make a difference in the world. And that was what I got all the
now you
time
make
growing up.
Well, now you make sense to me. Now you make perfect sense, because it does make sense. You blazed your trail.
Yeah.
You did it your way.
Yeah.
Some people say, I've talked to a lot of women who've lost their fathers young, and there's something interesting about them. It's like, and I don't know if this is true for you, and it was for me. I remember Julia Roberts, and there were a bunch of other women, and they said it was almost like there was an itch they couldn't scratch. It was like you keep striving. It's almost like you're looking for an atta girl.
Yeah,
or
to
you did
please
it.
them.
You did
even
it,
though
honey.
they're not there.
Right. And you just, because sometimes you wonder, why am I still sprinting on this? Where am I going? Why am I pushing myself? And I don't know if that.
Wow, that completely.
factor-
Well, that explains a lot of things for me.
So
Thank you. Want me to lay down on the sofa here?
let's talk about you and TV, because, I mean, you are clearly effervescent, bubbly, and it all makes total sense. But when you were entering into the world of television and local news, I mean, look, it was a man's game, obvi.
100%.
Yeah.
It was all white male, full stop.
Yeah.
In 1973.
Yeah. So how does one Joan Lunden sharp elbow her way in, or how did you get in?
There was an ad salesman at the local station in Sacramento, in my hometown, that was a friend of ours. And, he was at dinner one night and said, because you're graduating from college, what are you going to do with your life? I don't know.
Yeah.
And he said, you ought to think about TV news, which seemed like kind of a harebrained idea.
Yeah. What did you study? What were your...
Psychology. It was
Psychology.
as close as I could get
Yeah.
to medicine.
Okay.
And it's
I like it.
probably served me well.
I was going to say, that probably worked. Yeah.
And, I said, but there are no women in television. He said, but they're going to be, because that now the organization of women, they're really putting a lot of pressure on. And consequently, the FCC is putting a lot of pressure on local stations to hire women. So he said, I'm going to write down the news director's name and number on this paper. And, and the next morning I got up and I was like, why not? So I went and found that piece of paper and I called. And he had given me a direct number to the news director.
Oh, that's a great line.
at the station in Sacramento. And so I called it and he said, aha, he said, Bill told me that when you called, I would be an idiot if I didn't meet you.
Wow.
So what are you doing at 2:00? I said, seeing you.
Yeah.
And I went in like on a fact-finding mission, and I wrote out questions.
Of course you did.
And what would be the role that women could play in this industry? What did I need to do to prepare? Should I go to some kind of broadcasting school? And like after about 5 minutes, he looked at me and he said, "Well, clearly you know how to write an interview. I'm going to audition you." And
wow.
he took me into the studio and sat me at the news desk that I saw every night on television, and did a little. I read some copy about the Vietnam War because that's what was going on. And he came out and he was super nice and super complimentary, and he said, "There's something about you.
Yeah.
Like you have some kind of like an it factor, but I don't have a job, but I'm going to keep you in mind."
Okay.
He said, because in about 6 months, we're going to start an early news. Besides just at 6:00, we're going to, it was the beginning of that early
morning
5:30
Yeah.
newscast. And I walked out of the building and I was out in the parking lot and I felt somebody following me. And I turned around and it was the weatherman who I recognized.
Yeah,
I mean,
of course.
He had been,
Stars.
he had been there forever.
Yeah.
Harry guys, good old Harry.
Yeah.
And he said, "I saw your audition and there are a few stations around the country who are putting weather girls on, and I'd like to make you Sacramento's first weather girl," which sounded absolutely uninteresting to me.
Yeah.
But thank God I knew an
Tried it.
opportunity, and I said, okay.
So to make your way from local to the network, which again is another thing. I mean, I know Barbara Walters was like the Lone Ranger out there, and
Yeah.
probably it was like, who else is going to get here? So entering into the network morning show, was it swimming with sharks? Was it, oh, this is kind of cool? Like, what was it for you when you entered in? What were the emotions?
Well, it was 1976. GMA went on the air. The one with David Hartman. There'd been a little AM America that came before that, and that was the same time that I got hired by WABC TV, Eyewitness News in New York as a street reporter, which of course I had never been in Sacramento.
Learned
But I
that
said,
too.
okay.
By the way,
and
you
I
just,
figured,
is that
I'll
your
learn.
secret? Is that your secret?
That's
Just
my
like
secret.
learn on the job.
My husband says if ever there was a page out of the Joan Lunden playbook, it said anytime anyone asks you if you can do something, just say yes, and then go figure out how to do it.
By the way, that's such good advice. That's
Yeah.
really good. That's really
it's
good.
what has given me this amazing life. I've always said, why would I ever say no to any opportunity that
Right.
comes
Someone
along?
believes you can do it. You can
Yeah.
figure the rest out.
So I came to New York City to be a street reporter,
Yeah.
and the producers at GMA, they see you on television at night. So I got a call eventually from the executive producer, Woody Frazier, and he said, we're putting together a team here at Good Morning America of young people. Geraldo Rivera.
Oh, God. What a class. Who else?
Yeah. Mayor John Lindsay.
Okay.
Except that now he wasn't
Yeah.
mayor anymore. Cheryl Teagues was doing fashion.
Yeah.
So this they were
like
putting
group- yeah, cool
They were
group.
putting together this group of family members,
Yeah.
and I saw you, and we'd like to maybe have you do new products and new ideas.
Okay.
Trends in America. I was like, okay.
This is what a great trajectory.
And so I had to figure out what would
Yeah.
that spot be. They gave me a couple of spots to start me off, and I was still doing Eyewitness News full time.
Right. Double duty.
I just get up early in the morning and
Yeah.
go in and do GMA, and then go back and get my assignment for the day, which was a fire in Lower Manhattan.
Right, exactly. Dumpster fire. When you end up getting the gig with David Hartman, which was a huge deal. How were you treated? What was that like? You now were supposedly, I mean, as a viewer, two equal partners. What was it really like?
Yeah. So I had to actually be interviewed by David's agent to get the job, which, I don't know if anybody listening realizes how weird that is.
Super weird.
Super weird. The first question he asked me was, would you be willing to change your hair color? And I was like,
Wait, your co-anchor's agent asked you to change your
yes.
hair
And I
color?
said, can I just ask why
Yeah.
you would ask that question? He said, well, I don't want you to make David look older. So, and then he said, and I just want to make sure that you understand that your second banana on this show, you're going to kind of be like Ed McMahon to Johnny Carson. And I said, I know, but it's still one of the best jobs in television.
Yeah, yeah.
And so obviously I made my way through that interview without being too pushy.
So
And I
you
got the
knew,
job. I
okay,
couldn't open the show, close the show. I couldn't do any big interviews. I just did like I did,
okay,
Julie Child and
right. All the,
DIY home projects
I
and
hear
those
you.
things. That's how I started out.
So that's how it started, but that wasn't how it ended. So there must have been some push-pull in there where you were like, can I do this? Why can't, when did you start to get your voice?
I'll tell you, I didn't push, but like maybe 2 months after I started, they said, you're going to interview Barbara Walters tomorrow. I was like, oh my God, oh my God.
Yeah, yeah.
And so she came on for some special she was doing. I don't remember what that was, but I remember she took me aside when the spot was over during the commercial, and she said, I'm going to give you some advice. Don't try to fight for equality. She said, because it's not that time. That time has not come, even in our society. Forget in the world of television. Just take every small assignment they'll give you and make every one of them a gem. Make them shine. Be so good in those little pieces that they can't help but notice you.
Okay.
And I followed that advice. Oh, she gave me another piece of advice. She said, send thank you notes. She said, people always wonder, how do I get the big stars? I'll tell you how I get the big stars. When I see in the Variety magazine that someone's been cast in a movie or a Broadway show, I immediately write to them and say, oh my gosh, I just saw that you were cast in this. What a terrific opportunity. You're going to be fantastic in it. And when the movie comes out, I can't wait to talk to you. So who do you think they call
Right,
when
they
the
call
movie
her.
comes out? That's how I get in
Learned.
before.
Yeah.
And she said, and then I send thank you notes. So one of the first times I got to interview a celebrity, it was because David was on vacation. And Richard Burton was going to be on. And he was opening in a play, Equus, on Broadway. And so I got all ready. I was really ready for this interview. And after the interview, I found out from the booker, I sent him a thank you note. So now, a year later, Richard Burton's going to be on the show. Now he's in a big movie.
Yeah.
And David hears that I'm doing the interview. And he's like, what are you talking about? Joan can't do this interview. They said, well, actually, Mr. Burton asked for Joan.
Oh, so that's what turned the tide.
And that kind of thing is
Yeah.
what started it. And I did the interview, much to David's dismay.
Yeah.
But, just little by little, you just have to let them start to have confidence
How
in
did
you.
when you know that that's the vibe, I was just thinking about working in a newsroom like that or working on the set, when you knew it was like, why is she getting that? And you had to sit. I mean, this was Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, weeks, months, years. How did you maintain the optimism, the stuff your mom put in you, and not get sort of, I don't know, just negative Nelly and say,
It was still a huge job.
yeah, yeah,
I mean, it was an
Yeah.
amazingly big, it was big.
yeah.
So
you
just
saw
to
the bright
be
side.
there, I saw the
Yeah.
bright side and I saw the opportunity. Maybe I was with David for 10 years. So, I mean, maybe later on, they started giving me a little bit more, but there was still that pushback from
Yeah.
David I still couldn't open the show or close the show
Yeah.
for 10 years. And
Girl.
then Charlie came.
Yeah.
And when David was leaving, they had me co-host with someone different every week. John Forsythe, remember he had been doing what, Dynasty, I guess it was? And all these different people. And I pushed for Charlie Gibson. He had been this Capitol Hill correspondent that every now and then was on our show.
Yeah.
And he just seemed like smart,
Right.
but not
Affable. Yeah.
affable,
Yeah,
kind
he
of like
had all
every
the
man's
things.
guy.
Yeah.
And he knew I had pushed for him. So the first day he came into the GMA office, he came into my office and sat down across from my desk and said, let's show America that a man and a woman can do this show as equals. I said, you got a deal. 3 months ago, when we did our anniversary of GMA, Charlie and Spencer and I went out to dinner the night before. And Charlie had read the book. And Charlie said, I never told you something. When I came in that first day, before I came into your office, when the executives saw me coming in, they all pulled me in and they said, all right, you have to establish yourself as the alpha male, like right away, to Joan, to the audience, to the staff. And he said, I don't think that's what America wants. And he got up and walked out and walked into my office.
Oh,
and
that's
said,
juicy.
And I said, you didn't tell me this? This could have been in my book.
That's so juicy, though. But that also shows his character. He's like, wow, you did find the right person.
Yeah.
What all the sexual harassment stuff that was going on in Hollywood, in newsrooms during that time, it was almost commonplace, I guess, right?
Yeah. And I got it too. I got it though at the local level.
Yeah.
I got it at Eyewitness News, and I think you've read the book. You saw that the Fire Island fiasco. Having my superior tell me that there was going to be an Eyewitness News party. You should come. You're new. You don't know people, and I'd been there for a while, but I still didn't know people because I wasn't welcomed with open arms.
Yeah.
Finally acquiesced and said, fine, I'll go. I said, I don't even know where Fire Island is.
Yeah.
And he said, well, I do, and I'm driving there, and I'll give you a ride.
Yeah.
And so I said, fine, and I got out to Fire Island. And of course, as we know, there are no cars. You have to take the ferry out and then walk to this house.
Yeah.
And we got there, and there was just one other guy, another reporter from CBS, and his girlfriend, and the night is going on.
And you're like,
where is everybody?
Yeah.
Oh, actually everybody had some other plans, so it's just us. And I tried to be pleasant during dinner, but now it's dark out.
Yeah.
You can't walk out the door and hail a cab.
See you later, right.
And then after dinner, the other couple goes to the bedroom and he says, all right, let's go to bed. And I was like, I did not sign up for this.
Yeah.
And he got really angry with me. Yeah. And I slept sitting up on the sofa with no pillow, no blanket. And as soon as it got light out, I snuck out of the house and went back. And then he started killing all my stories. And he was my superior.
Yeah.
And I don't even know if we had the phrase HR back then. I'm not sure there was a human.
Yeah.
So I finally just one day, because it was becoming very obvious that I was having all my stories killed. And it was affecting my income too. Because back then you had a base salary, you got paid every time you were on the air. And finally one day, I'm so non-confrontational, so non-confrontational. And I saw him out in the hall, and all the other, there's a whole gaggle of female reporters in this one office. None of them were there. And I just put on my big girl pants and I said, get in here. And he came in and I said, I have to tell you, I've met with my attorney and we're going to sue WABC and you for sexual discrimination. And all of a sudden he looked at me like, uh-oh. And I said, and I don't really want to go through this. My attorneys are ready to initiate the suit, but I'm going to give you one final chance to stop this, to never kill a story of mine again, and to leave me alone. And he took a couple seconds and said, okay, fine, I'm sorry, and walked out.
And that was,
now,
and it turned?
I didn't even say this in the book, I don't think. But I really hadn't gone to an attorney.
I was going to say, I bet that was a good one. Let's talk about another topic at work, which I think is important, is you got the job at GMA and simultaneously, within, minutes, found out you were pregnant.
Oh, yes, within 20 minutes.
Yeah. So those two things, although beautiful and amazing,
wonderful.
Blessings, both of them came at once.
Delightful dilemma.
Yeah. So you had to tell them describe getting those two jewels, job of your dreams, baby that you dreamt of, happening at once, and then?
Honestly, I never really ever even had the thought that, oh man, that would have been so good. I just immediately said, all right, I got to figure out how I'm going to do it.
Right.
And I was delivering in July. She was a 4th of July baby. I was going back to the show August 27th. And I finally just called my agent and said, I need you to ask him if I can bring the baby with me. And he was like silent,
Yeah.
like, what?
Yeah.
And I said, I'm breastfeeding. And
Yeah.
I kind of need, I mean, we didn't have all these, breast pumps that they have today and nursing rooms at work. And they just wanted my tush in that seat
Yeah.
so bad for
Yeah.
the fall lineup. And the previous co-host, Sandy Hill, had been gone for a long time, that I think they just said yes.
Yeah.
And I think they thought it was going to be the best kept secret. And so I brought Jamie at 7 weeks old with me.
Wow.
I'd go in, I'd scoop her out of her
Yeah.
crib and try to very gently lay her down on the changing table and change her without waking
Yeah.
her up. So
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
would get in the car so I could breastfeed her
Yeah.
while I read the first hour of the script and then
Yeah.
change her to the second hour. It was
Isn't that so crazy what you had to fight for too? All those things. And you paved the way for so many people. Now it's sort of like, I mean, look what
Yeah.
happens now. You've had a lot of interesting highs and lows in your life. I remember, and I think everyone does, there's a People magazine cover of you when you were battling breast cancer. That
Yeah.
is really one of the most memorable. You were going through that really
And you
difficult
know
chapter.
what it's like, obviously.
I do.
I don't know if you had the same thought that I had, though, Hoda. I was afraid to do that cover. And the reason why is because I didn't want anybody to think that I was, I don't know, sensationalizing
Yeah,
my illness.
yeah.
I mean,
I didn't think that
I
at all.
just knew that everybody's so ready to attack anything you do and make something good seems bad.
Yeah,
That I was really afraid to do that, and the executive producer, whatever it was, of People magazine, she came to the shoot at my house and said, "Look, we'll do one with your wig, we'll do one with like a Hermes scarf, and then if you'll do it, we'll do one with
without."
nothing on, with the bald head, and we can decide. I'm not going to force you to do it." So at that moment, when they walked into my house, we weren't sure what we were going to do. And she went upstairs into my bedroom with me and she said, "I just want you to understand, this is going to be revelatory. This is going to be iconic. And you could really inspire a lot of women. And I just really, we'll take a look at the picture, but
Yeah,
I'm
they'll
telling you,
decide.
you
Yeah.
should do this." And I told her about my reservations and she said, "No, no, no, no. You're reading too much into the world, you know." And we looked at the pictures afterwards. And I remember when we did the shoot, I said, "Could we clear the room?" And I took off the wig and it was just the photographer there. And I just knew I had to dig down deep and get a glow on, get my happy on, get my,
Yeah.
I can beat this in my eyes. And we looked at the pictures afterwards and I mean, she looked at me and the photographer looked at me and I said, "That's the shot."
Wow. Wow. You are a glass half full, and I think that's what a great way, which explains your whole life, the book and everything, and all of your rising up from the ashes over and over. What do you do because even I feel like I'm super optimistic, but there are days, where you're not. What do you do and how do you find that? Or do you just let yourself go through, let me feel bad for myself for a minute
For
here?
a second.
Is that
Come
it?
on, you're a glass half
I
full
know.
girl.
I am
know
too.
you are.
I am too.
It is one of the reasons I
Yeah.
think why we so bonded
Yeah.
when we met.
Yeah.
Because we were so alike and you had walked in the steps I walked in and it was just an immediate bonding.
So you just push right through and go on
Yeah,
to the
I'm not
next.
saying that every day is wonder, "Oh my God, I went through a horrible divorce and
Yeah.
in front of the public and
Yeah.
the tabloids were awful." And, so I had my down days, but you know what it's like. When you do a morning show, whatever's going on in your life, you got to leave it in the dressing room.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and the last thing I always did before I walked out
Yeah.
was I looked in the mirror and I smiled.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that does do something
does
to your
something.
brain.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
those muscles when you
Totally.
smile. And something my mom always told me to do.
Your mom, she really had it. And yeah, I think that's beautiful, beautiful. So, Let's talk a little bit about your family because I was drawn to you for many, many reasons. And one of them was because everything in your life, I feel like, happens right on time when it was supposed to. Your child and your job happened right on time. When you got pregnant again through a surrogate, happened right on time. And I believe that with all my heart. But when you were going through that, I was watching an interview you did with somebody, and they basically said, to quote David Letterman, Joan, what were you thinking? Kind of making light of having children.
Yeah,
at
after
this.
men have divorced and remarried in their
Yes.
50s and 60s and married 30-year-old women for the last how many decades?
Yeah.
Like
But
if we do it,
right. So you were 54 when your babies were born, is that
No,
right?
50.
50. You were 50 when your babies were born. So how did you handle, or did you expect, or what did you think of the way that was received? Because now it's like everyone's got pom-poms out. I mean, I
Yeah.
adopted my kids at 51 and 50,
yeah.
3.
But when I did it was
Yeah.
like, I remember in People magazine, they write in letters because there was a
Yeah.
picture of me with my surrogate, which said she's having my baby. And of course, everybody has their opinions.
Yeah.
And they wrote like, why just couldn't you adopt? Why are you having kids at this age? How old will you be when
Yeah.
they graduate?
Do the
Whatever.
math. Yeah.
I mean,
all that.
like, hello, I'm like pretty vibrant.
Yeah.
And my kids graduating from college. And
Yeah.
like, it's just not allowed for us, for women.
Right.
And it's a personal decision.
Right.
You have to know that you are a physically fit, vibrant woman, I guess, to do it. Another woman my age would probably say, like, what are you, insane?
Yeah. Yeah.
But everybody gets to make their own choices.
Right. It's your trip, our trip.
Yes, it's
Yeah.
mine.
Yeah. That is so funny with everyone and their opinions. I actually remember this. I had someone who wrote a letter and sent it to my house. And I opened it and I thought it was like, oh, can you sign a thing or, whatever.
Yeah.
Because sometimes people get your address. And it said, how could you do this?
Yeah.
Do you ever think about how you might be leaving your children? And I like sobbed because secretly that was, even though I believe all the things you said, I told myself that too, and I believe it. There's a tiny part that was like, is this, I know how to use a calculator. I know about math and I know how it will be, but I quickly dismissed it thinking, well, she's probably got some issues. She probably has an older mom or something happened and she's now mad at me. But people's opinions are real. And you seem like a sensitive person because you said, I don't know if I want to do the People magazine cover because what if. But yet you're in this public place where people's
Yeah.
opinions come out at you. How do you deflect? Or do you just go, oh, well, she's crazy. I'm moving on with my life.
I thought that was one of the important things to write about in the book. I could have just done all the highlights of my life, and there are a lot of them. They would have filled the book. But I didn't take that route. And I remember one of the paragraphs starts with, I'm not sure how everybody out there who thinks this celebrity is so amazing would feel if they had to open the letters that I opened all these years, or now even see all the Facebook posts, which now people have this anonymity, they feel that they can say anything to you. I don't know how they'd feel if they had to have every nuance of your life, the lipstick you wear, the hairstyle you have, your weight, your clothes, your parenting, your everything is just like up for public scrutiny and criticism.
Yeah.
I don't know how they would think about celebrity
Right.
if they knew that that's also
was part
part
of
of
it.
celebrity.
And I think what's interesting is for every one letter, and I think about this too, for that one letter, which I remember, which kind of bugs me that I remember it.
Yeah.
There were hundreds of letters that came. I've met people who said, I adopted because you did. I adopted because I saw that Sandra Bullock did, and she was my age. I'm like, wait, we can do that? It's
Yeah,
cool.
yeah.
But so and the example you've set over the years, I'm sure people looked at you and went into jobs and went into motherhood and survived
hear it
cancer.
all
You
the
must hear them
time.
all that. So for the ones who are in the cheap seats up there, heckling, so what? Right? We
Yeah,
let them
yeah.
do what they do. That's why a glass half full person. Your mom was your rock, obviously.
Yeah.
How did you handle, or how did you change after losing her?
Well, one of the things, and I'm sure everybody out there will relate to this, and I remember I wrote it in the book, that it was one day walking through the grocery store, and I was thinking about something that was amazing, that was coming up. And I thought, oh my God, when I get in the car, I want to call her.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, she's not here. And that happens to me every now and then. And when my mom died, I lost my grandparents long ago. I lost my dad when I was 13. I lost my brother, when I was in my 40s. And now my mom was gone. And we were never a family that lived close to relatives. And I thought, I'm kind of the last, I was going to say the last man standing. That's the phrase, the last woman standing. If I want to know about something when I was 8 years old, there's nobody to ask.
Nobody to ask, yeah.
And that's kind of weird. It's just a weird feeling. And it's also a very alone feeling in the world when all of a sudden you realize that there's nobody out there that you can ask
Right.
about your past.
That's so.
It's
that's
just
so,
weird.
It is weird and
Yeah.
interesting.
And so, I mean, so when I was talking about me growing up, I said, but you also have to talk about those kind of things,
Yeah, you're right.
because that's what other people also feel and what they relate to. And when they think about Joan Lunden, they think, oh, I don't feel any of those things. And when you realize, oh God, she does too.
Yeah.
There's something about a connection there that I've always felt. I mean, look, I've done 11 books. I've shared every chapter of my life until now. I shared the whole thing. Sharing our stories is important. You know this. It's not just sharing other people's stories, which is how we make our living, but sharing our stories, that's important too. We've shared our breast cancer stories, and we've been at breast cancer luncheons all over the country. Women at those luncheons go get their mammogram. Women at those luncheons go find out what their breast density is. Women at those luncheons, when they get diagnosed, have a sense that they will survive because we told them they could.
And they can
And
see it.
this brings up another really important aspect that I really wanted. I didn't even know I wanted to convey it until as I was kind of like in the throes of finishing the book, is that I had this huge, shiny 25-year career in the national spotlight. And then I left. And this is another reason why you and I are so relate right now, even though they keep pulling you back in. And then I had this last 25 years. And there was probably a little part of me that always said, you didn't do what everybody expected you to do. You lived beyond the script, which is why I called the book that. But look at the last 25 years and what you've done to get mandatory mammogram reporting. You went to testify before the FDA to help in senior care. You went to the House Ways and Means Committee and testified before Congress to expand the Family and Medical Leave Act. You've had these unbelievable opportunities to actually make a difference in the world, which is what my mom and dad told me to do way back when. That I don't know if I necessarily had in my broadcasting career. So wasn't that 25-year period kind of equal? So you talk about always remembering. There was this young whippersnapper male reporter as I left GMA who said, Miss Lunden, how are you ever going to top that? And I never forgot that guy's stupid, nasty little question. And I think it always nagged at me. And only at this point, I think in my career now, can I say, I didn't have to top it. I just had to do something else that mattered.
Something else that mattered, yeah.
And that was fulfilling and that meant something in the world.
Right, change things.
And that changed
Yeah,
things.
yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, this is what a beautiful conversation. So this podcast is called Making Space. So if you, Joan Lunden, had a full day where you could wake up at your leisure, nobody's pulling on you, there's calendar's clear, you can wake up when you want, you can fill your day with what and who you want, you can go to sleep exactly when you want. How would you make space for yourself? How would that one day unfold?
Honestly?
Yeah, I want to hear it. The real deal.
Yeah, because I do it now whenever those days come up,
Yeah.
which still people don't,
Yeah.
people think I'm retired, that
Yeah.
I'm doing
Yeah.
nothing. They don't realize I'm working on 11 projects.
Yeah.
But I do have those days.
Yeah,
and
tell
you
me
know what
about
I
it, Deb.
do? I still wake up early. I mean, I don't know.
We have to.
I might work on a jigsaw puzzle all day
I
long.
love a jigsaw.
I am so good
You
at them.
are?
Oh, you could put me in a contest. I can do a 1,000-word jigsaw puzzle in sometimes maybe a day, but
Wait,
certainly 2 days. I'm so
what?
good at it that I'm mad because part of the reason why I'm doing it is to keep my
Yeah,
brain and keep
yeah,
my
yeah,
cognitive
yeah,
thinking.
yeah.
And you're supposed to do things that are hard.
It's too easy for you.
It's getting too easy.
So are you thinking about things while you're doing it, or are you just doing
No,
it?
that's the reason why I
Ah,
do it. The brain can't do two
Yeah,
things at once.
right.
We know that from all the interviews we've done. So when you're reading a book, 'cause I'm a voracious reader, I love to read. And when I'm reading or when I'm doing a jigsaw puzzle, you can't think about what somebody said yesterday or
Yeah.
what you read or what
Or what tomorrow
or what
will
everything
bring.
that's on your to-do list.
Yeah.
You physically can't do it.
Okay.
You mentally can't do
Yeah.
it. So to me, it's just this
Oh,
wonderful,
I kind of love that. And
fabulous.
are you going to bed early, or what's happening at the end of the day?
Nah, I
Nah,
still go to
just
bed
you
late.
go to bed
I'm a
late?
news junkie. I have
Yeah.
a hard time
So
turning
you-
everything off.
So you're
and-
watching all the stuff.
And I like all the late night shows. I never used to get to watch
Right.
Law and Order and all the great TV shows when I was on GMA. I had to go to bed.
So now you're
I
catching up.
watch them all.
All right.
And by the way, the first draft of my book, I started with my childhood. And then I read someone else's autobiography and another broadcaster, and it was like all about her relatives and in Russia. And I didn't care about those people. And I never got past I
Yeah.
think, chapter 2.
Yeah.
And I said, wait a minute, I'm going to rewrite this. And I'm not starting with my childhood.
Yeah.
I want to start like Law and Order.
Ooh. Oh, with the crime?
Law and Order, they start with some people like going through the park,
Yeah,
everything's
it's all-
fine, they're on their bikes, and whoa, there's
Right.
a dead body.
Right. Roadkill.
Then it
Okay.
goes to commercial.
Yeah, I'm into it.
And then it comes back earlier in time and they lead
Right.
up to the crime.
Fast retreat. That's what
So
you did.
that's what I'm going to do. And I started with
Love it. Love it.
flying in a U-2
yeah. Yeah.
and having major crisis
Yeah.
on that flight in our spacesuits at 75,000 feet. Obviously, we didn't crash land because I'm here. Oh, but at the end of the chapter, this is the other thing. I called my attorney and said, can I put video in my book? And he was like, how would you do that?
Yeah.
I said, I could put QR codes and then people could open up the QR
Brilliant.
codes and see the video.
That's like one
And
of
he
the
said, okay.
Let's do it. By the
do
way,
it.
brilliant. Brilliant.
So you read about me in the YouTube
And then you
plane,
can watch.
and then you can watch.
By the way,
actual-
Pioneer. Now cut to all future books with QR codes
I
all over
know.
with video. You did it first again.
Ha, ha.
Ha. Joan, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, thanks for watching. And don't forget, you can catch the Today Show every morning on NBC or take Today when you're on the go. Just follow the Today podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen.